Hello everyone, and welcome to another Roaring Records tutorial. Today we are going to talk about some mixing traits that you would probably need to know about if you're going to dive heavy into the mixing of your track. And I'm going to essentially walk through in this next series of videos a few different plugins that are important to you. So we're going to work in SoundTrap today. Which is what we've kind of been working in this series of tutorials about how to use SoundTrap and making the most out of SoundTrap. So the first thing I have in here is a drum loop. And I'm just going to play the drum loop that I've chosen to use here. Now I picked this drum loop because it has a very wide set of different notes and frequencies in it. So I want to demonstrate today first the filter effect. So if I click on the drum right here, that pulls up the actual instrument, and I can click on effects to get in and add to the filter chain. Now, this already has room reverb that I'm going to remove and dynamic compressor that I'm going to remove. And I'm going to insert from this menu the filter. And I want to kind of explain what the filter does and how we're going to use it. So to do that, I'm going to draw for just a moment. Pardon my terrible drawing skills, but if we think about frequency on a spectrum, that looks something like this. The lowest frequencies that a human can hear are 20 hertz, or 20 cycles of sound per second. And the highest frequencies that humans can hear are 20,000 hertz, or 20 kilohertz. So 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, meaning 20,000 vibrations of a speaker or a medium per second. So a filter has a very specific job on this, and there are two types of filters. One of those filters is going to carve off the low end of the frequencies. So it'll kind of look like this, right? With this being boosting frequencies up here and this being attenuating or reducing frequencies down here. The filter is going to kind of give it this shape, and it will reduce or remove all the frequencies to the left. There are two names for this kind of filter. One of those is called the high pass filter, abbreviated HPF, or you could call this the low cut. Both of these terms mean essentially the same thing. High pass, meaning it's going to allow the high frequencies to pass through, or low cut, meaning it's going to cut out the low frequencies. There's also a filter on this end. This one is called the low pass filter, meaning it allows the low frequencies to get through, or it's called the high cut. Most of the time, these terms are, for the most part, interchangeable, meaning that you're going to remove the frequencies that are above this filter or remove the frequencies that are below this. You could have the option to do a band pass filter, and that would allow you to make a band of frequencies between these 2 points that actually get through. So I want to take a look a little closer now at the actual filter that we have available to us in SoundTrap. You'll notice they use the term low cut and high cut. And if you adjust this, the high cut starts kicking in roughly at 18,000 kilohertz. So you're not losing very much sound at first. And the low cut kicks in at 22.5 hertz. So you have a very wide frequency of sound that can be covered with this. So let's see what actually happens when I begin to use a filter with this drum sound here. So we're going to first use the low cut sound. And we're going to see if we can take out that kick drum. So at this point, we've got the low cut removing everything that is below 141 hertz. So essentially, we have actually taken the kick drum out of this loop. We could also use the high cut filter to take out some of the cymbals and the maraca and the airiness of this track. So where might be times that you wanted to use a filter? Well, if you know, for instance, that your microphone doesn't have any sound on it that's lower than a certain frequency, for instance, a female is singing, you could push up the low cut to get rid of any unwanted noise that's happening. Or if you wanted to do a remix and be kind of DJ-esque, you could kind of remove the beat from a song while leaving the singer and the instruments in it. Additionally, the high cut, you could do like we just did. We essentially took the cymbals and the maracas and the shakers out of this while leaving just the bass drum and the snare drum in there. So a lot of different things can be done with the filter to shape basic sound. If you found this helpful, please hit the thumbs up button below.